It was one of the greatest mysteries in the story of our species, a question that has haunted scientists, archaeologists, and philosophers for centuries. Where did modern humans truly come from? For generations, the answer seemed simple, almost comforting. A single birthplace in Africa, a single ancestral population, a clean and linear origin story. But beneath that tidy narrative, hidden deep within our own DNA, lay a truth far older, far stranger, and far more complex than anyone imagined. For decades, researchers scoured fossil beds, desert cliffs, and ancient river valleys, searching for the moment humanity began. Yet the real breakthrough did not come from skulls or bones. It came from something far smaller and far more enduring: genetic echoes preserved inside every living human being. And thanks to a powerful new approach developed at the University of Cambridge, we now know that the story of our origin does not begin with one ancestral population, but two. According to this groundbreaking analysis, modern humans are not the descendants of a single lineage. Instead, we are the product of two ancient human groups that diverged roughly 1.5 million years ago, long before Homo sapiens or Neanderthals walked the earth. For over 1 million years, these two populations lived separate lives, shaped by shifting climates, collapsing ecosystems, and the isolation created by Africa's vast deserts and broken landscapes. Then, around 300,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. In a period where the Sahara transformed into a green world of rivers and lakes, a green Sahara, these two long-separated populations met again, and when they did, they merged, setting in motion a chain of events that would reshape the destiny of our species. Unlike later encounters with Neanderthals and Denisovans, which left only small traces in our genome, this ancestral merging was massive. One lineage contributed roughly 80% of our DNA. The other, a long-lost ghost population with no confirmed fossil remains, contributed the remaining 20%. Their bodies have never been found. Their tools, their faces, their names, lost to time. Yet, their genetic signature lives in every human alive today, hinting at a chapter of human evolution written entirely in code rather than stone. To uncover this hidden story, researchers analyzed tens of thousands of modern genomes from the 1000 Genomes Project. Instead of relying on ancient bones, they used an algorithm called COBRA to reconstruct the distant past, rewinding genetic history by modeling how ancient populations split, shrank, grew, and merged. When they fed global human genomes into the system, the model revealed something stunning. Immediately after the initial split between these two ancestral groups, one lineage underwent a devastating bottleneck, shrinking to only a handful of individuals before slowly recovering over the next 1 million years. This same lineage would go on to give rise to Neanderthals, Denisovans, and the majority of modern human ancestry. The other group remained small, more isolated, and genetically distinct, a quiet branch of humanity drifting through deep time. When these two populations finally met again during the lush green Sahara period, their reunion reshaped human evolution. But not every gene blended smoothly. Natural selection began filtering the incompatible ones in a process called purifying selection. Many genes from the ghost population faded away, but those related to brain development, especially ones involved in neural processing and language, remained. Among them was the FOXP2 gene, long associated with speech and linguistic ability. This suggests that our capacity for complex language may have roots far deeper than expected, shared with early humans like Homo Heidelbergensis long before Sapiens appeared. It also hints that these ancient humans were not communicating through simple grunts, but through structured, meaningful language, a form of expression far older than we once believed. Around the same time, another transformation swept across Africa, a technological revolution known as the Levallois technique. Instead of crudely shaping stones, early humans began planning each tool in advance, mentally designing the final shape, then striking a single, precise blow to release it from a prepared core. It was a leap in cognition, abstraction, and mathematical planning, and it coincided almost perfectly with the merging of our two ancestral lineages, suggesting a possible link between genetic change and sudden bursts of innovation. Fossil evidence hints at who these ancestors might have been. The lineage that contributed most of our DNA, roughly 80%, appears closely aligned with Homo heidelbergensis, a powerful, broad-faced human with a large brain and a talent for endurance hunting. The minority lineage, the mysterious 20%, resembles late Homo erectus, the great explorer of the ancient world, the first fire keeper, the first long-distance traveler, the first true global wanderer of our genus. Two very different kinds of humans, devoted hunters and tireless explorers, brought together by climate, chance, and the shifting landscapes of prehistoric Africa. Their union was not perfect. Many Erectus-derived genes clashed with the dominant lineage, but others, including genes influencing cognition, survived. In the end, natural selection did what it always does. It kept what worked and discarded what didn't. What remained was a genome shaped by both strength and curiosity, endurance and innovation, instinct and imagination. In a sense, modern humans are the refined synthesis of two ancient worlds, the best of both lineages. This merger, happening around 300,000 years ago, aligns precisely with the earliest fossils identified as Homo sapiens. The Jebel Irhoud remains in Morocco, and later the Homo Kabish fossils in Ethiopia. These were not isolated outbursts of evolution. They were the physical reflections of a genetic event already unfolding in the background. The discovery doesn't dismantle the out-of-Africa model. It enriches it. It replaces the old image of a single origin point with a far more dynamic Africa, teeming with ancient human groups who split, drifted, separated, reunited, and exchanged genes across hundreds of thousands of years. Humanity did not emerge from a straight line, but from a braided river of ancient populations. And remarkably, all of this was uncovered not by digging in the earth, but by digging into ourselves. The clues were there all along, encoded in our cells, whispered from ancestors who walked the plains of Africa 1,000,000 years before us. This revelation transforms our understanding of human origins. It shows that our species was forged not from one lineage, but from a meeting, a blending of two distant human worlds. A fusion that created a new kind of being capable of innovation, reflection, storytelling, and wonder. And it reminds us that our history is deeper, richer, and far more intertwined than we ever imagined. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into our ancient origins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more stories that continue to reshape our understanding of humanity. Until next time.